Hi everybody, it's Jennifer from Hybrid Rest to Mama, and I'm here today to talk to you about something that I had to personally deal with and learned a lot about along the way and am now sharing with you. And that is how to remove mold spores from your pet's fur. A lot of people who have gone through toxic mold and want to keep their pets wonder, well, shoot, are my pets going to be carrying mold spores into my new environment? And if so, is there anything that can be done? A lot of people were very surprised to learn that I actually did keep all my pets. But pets are family. There's no way that I was going to put an animal to sleep just because it had been exposed to toxic mold. And so I had the pleasure of working with one of the nation's leading toxicologists, Dr. Jack Thrasher, and he really walked me through the steps of how to remediate your pet. And it's different for all pets, of course, because there are breed differences. Like, you're obviously not going to treat a lizard the same way that you're going to treat a dog. But for the most part, there's a pretty standard protocol to go through, and it really does work. So first, I think it's important to understand that mold spores in animal fur aren't necessarily exclusive to a mold exposure from the home that they're living in. So you don't necessarily have to have gone through a mold event in order to have a moldy pet. Mold is all around us, and animals are notorious for picking up mold spores from the outdoor environment. So any animal that comes in and out is going to carry the risk of contaminating your home with mold spores. And of course, if you have the right food for the mold, aka a water intrusion of some sort, then the mold can grow. And of course, animals do come in contact with mold around the home as well. And if you have a major mold event and your pet is very contaminated, then that is something that you really need to deal with. So today I'm going to look at both mold in terms of how to prevent it, or at least reduce the risk of your pets carrying mold spores into your home, and then also what to do if your pet has been exposed to either a large toxic mold event, or you know that they got into something that was really moldy and you want to remove those spores from them. I'm sorry, there's a big truck coming by. Hold on. Okay. So in terms of prevention, if you have a cat, ideally your cat would be an indoor cat. And I realize that this is not something that everybody can do. And so if you do have a cat that goes outdoors, the best thing that you can do is basically give them an indoor privilege in a very limited area. So a garage or a mud room or something like that. This reduces the possibility, of course, of the cat dropping mold spores throughout your home. Now, my cat's family, so even though I had them indoors, if they ever were an outdoor cat, I wouldn't want to just confine them to one room. So if you can't keep your cat as an indoor cat, and you don't want your cat being an outdoor cat that only has privileges with one space in your home, then really the best thing that you can do is, before your cat comes in, brush your cat's fur, and then take a damp cloth and just sort of run it over them and try to remove as many mold spores as possible. Also, always keep their nails trimmed as much as possible. The longer the nail is, the more debris can get stuck inside of it and tracked into the house. For a dog, it's a lot more difficult to avoid mold transfer because dogs typically go outside to use the restroom. So again, the best advice that I have is give them a brushing before they come in, wipe their fur with a damp cloth if possible, and always wipe your dog's paws. This would go for cats as well. And again, keep their nails as short as you can. And so, you know, really, that's the best you can do with an animal that's going in and out, in and out. Also, all of your pet's bedding should be washed weekly to remove any mold spores that have transferred onto there. And I'll put a link to my blog post about this, but there's a great laundry additive that has been scientifically proven and independently lab tested to remove mold spores and mycotoxins, which is huge. It's the only product that I personally will use, and it definitely does a great job in terms of getting those mold spores out of the laundry. So washing your pet's bedding, and if your pet wears any outfits, sweaters during the winter, socks, anything like that, definitely using that laundry additive to wash as well. So now looking again at how to actually remove mold spores from pet's fur when you've been through a big mold event and you don't want cross-contamination and coming into your new home. So basically, Dr. Thrasher, when I worked with him, said, look, you have hair on your head, and are you going to shave all of your hair off, and are you going to go through great lengths in order to avoid transferring mold spores to your new environment? And I thought about that for a moment, and I'm like, no, I'm not shaving my hair off. I'm going to do some bathing with some detox soaps, but I'm definitely not shaving my hair off. And I'm not putting myself to sleep because I got exposed to mold, so why would I put an animal to sleep? So his logic was a good one. However, because animals do have fur and they are animals, it is advisable that the first step in the whole pet remediation process is shaving your pet. And this is most typical for dogs or cats. I had a house rabbit, and we actually hadn't had her that long, and so I chose not to shave her. Shaving a rabbit or another small animal like a guinea pig or a hamster, that can be very dangerous for them for a variety of reasons, and if you are an owner of one of those animals, you already know why. So I would not advise shaving a small animal like that, but I would advise shaving a cat or a dog. And by shaving, I don't mean a lion cut. I mean shaving as much as you can possibly get shaved off. I had our vet do this, and they got our cat about as bald as I've ever seen a cat. He was really mad, but the hair did grow back and he got over it. And I felt better knowing that I had done everything that I could in terms of getting as many mold spores off of my pets. So shaving your pet would be the very first step if it is a pet that could be shaved. Your next step then is basically, okay, this could be a little controversial here. I'm not a fan of using ammonia ever, and I'm especially not a fan of using ammonia for anything related to mold, with the exception of remediating your pets. And this is because I have a mold solution that I use and love, and I use it basically as a preventative, but if I did have mold to get rid of, I would use it to get rid of that. But it's not safe to bathe a pet with. And so because of that, this is the instance where I will say you can give your pet an ammonia bath. Now, again, this is my choice based on my research. I would feel comfortable bathing a cat or a dog in ammonia. I would not feel comfortable bathing my rabbit in ammonia, so I skipped that step for her. But for a cat or a dog, first off, never, ever, ever mix ammonia with chlorinated water. So if you do not have some sort of water filtration system that removes the chlorine, you're going to want to go out and make sure that you get yourself some very clean distilled water, or some spring water. And yes, it's pricey, but just for the ammonia bath part, you do not want to mix ammonia with chlorine. And anyway, you can Google that, why you don't want to do that. Anyway, you're going to use regular household ammonia, and you are going to dilute it. And so I have instructions in my blog post about this. This is just more of an overview, but the reason for using ammonia is it has been proven to remove mold spores and neutralize some of the mycotoxins. It, unlike the cleaning product that I use and the laundry additive I use that has been lab tested and proven to actually kill mycotoxins, ammonia only neutralizes them. But at this point, that's fine. That's the best that you're going to be able to do for your pet. So you do the ammonia bath, and it's very, very important that the ammonia never ever gets in their eyes, their ears, their mouth. So an ammonia bath usually takes 2 people to keep the pet safe, and you always want to keep your pet's eyes covered because the ammonia can burn. Some people make little pet goggles, and that's fine. Otherwise, just having a second person cover their eyes. You can also bathe your pet in baking soda instead of ammonia. You can also do white vinegar. However, that will work on some mold spores, but it does not do anything with the mycotoxins. And mycotoxins are what cause the health issues, so it's better to just do the ammonia. Now, after the ammonia bath, and this is where the step would come in for any of your small animals, rabbits and guinea pigs and whatnot, you want to give them a detox bath in an antifungal shampoo. And I have a link for the antifungal shampoo that I use and love and that I feel really works. Basically, it's a natural clay-based antifungal shampoo, and that will remove any lingering mold spores from your pet's fur. That particular shampoo that I use is safe for all pets, so you can use it on anybody. Not a fish. You're not going to bathe your fish. And while it might be tempting, never ever ever use essential oils to remove mold. Well, in my opinion, period. But that's a whole other video. But never use essential oils to remove mold spores from your pet's fur, because while there are some essential oils that are safe for pets, it's better just to steer clear of them, because bathing a pet with essential oils is a little bit different than them inhaling essential oils that might be diffused in their environment. So they can be life-threatening. So after you do all of this bathing and you feel pretty confident that your pet is as free of mold as possible, it is always a good idea also to get them started on a natural binder. And the reason for this is because mold can actually come from the inside out if your pet does have mold-related illness. So you definitely want to give them a binder, usually just for a short time. And again, there's more information in my post about how to go about doing that. Now, I typically like to try to give my pets baths every week or so. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but after they've been exposed in a major mold event, you definitely want to continue bathing them every 2 to 3 days for about a month. And this is just because as their hair grows and as the follicles release those mold spores that might have still been hanging on, you want to get those as quickly as possible. A lot of people I know put their pet someplace neutral while they're going through this process. So either the pet is staying at a friend's house, a family member's house, maybe living in a laundry room or a bathroom, someplace where it's very easy to wipe up and clean the area and remove any of the mold spores that might be falling off. I didn't do this. I kept my pets with me. I didn't keep them confined to one area. I just was diligent about mold prevention during that time. And basically, I feel like everything came off of my pets. I didn't feel like they were responsible for any cross-contamination or anything like that. So that is my very short guide to how to how to remove mold spores from your pet's fur. And I will put the link to my full blog post in the comments so that you can take a look at that and get more specifics about exactly what I did. All right, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Have a good one.